guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kirsty. That's me, and Goofball, that's him. My cat is here on the truck, and he was just crying a minute ago, so maybe he'll come up. Come here. Come on, look at the camera. See? That's my Goofball. He's too worried about getting his treats because I went and took a shower, and as soon as I came back, it was rah, 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 so I have to throw treats down for him. But anyway, today's episode is going to be about trucking with pets. Whether you're over the road, you know, some people might only go out regional and they take their cat with them or dog with them for a week or whatever, or if you're over the road, there are some challenges that you need to think about. There's really like 5 or 6 we're going to talk about today, so stick around and maybe he'll make another appearance. Okay guys, so you want to bring your pet over the road with you, and trucking with pets can be a little bit of a challenge because number one, you can't take the pet into training with you. So training could take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months depending on the company you go to. In that time you have to have a place for that animal, and it might not be cheap, and there might be a time limit on it. When I looked around for Goofball, it was $600 a month to board a cat, and they would not allow him to stay more than 40 days. They also insisted that he had all kinds of vaccines that he's never had. And I'm really not crazy about the idea of boarding an animal anyway for that long, because with the cats, there's worms that are very contagious. If they get bit, another animal could have FIV, which is like feline immunovirus. So that's not good. Dogs get kennel cough. They can carry parvo. Parvo is deadly to puppies, but it's so contagious that your dog can like take it home or take it to your neighbors that has a puppy, and then the puppies die. It's really, parvo is horrible, horrible, horrible. So boarding, you really got to think about it. Time constraints. The other thing with dogs is they go crazy if they're in the kennel for too long with the constant barking, so they start spinning. And a dog that starts spinning, trust me, I worked in the dog rescue, and they just can't recover from it. It's like, we actually use sound torture on people. Well, I hope that the US isn't doing it. I'm sure we did it in the past. We probably do it and don't tell anybody. But, you know, that's an actual torture method. So just imagine how the poor dog would feel not knowing where you are, is in a strange place, and can't ever sleep. It's just that constant yap, 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 yap. So that's number one. Number two, you have to find a company with a pet policy that can work for you. Okay, not all companies accept cats. They say pet policy, and then it doesn't actually say, and it might say limit of 30 pounds, 1 pet, blah, 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 and it doesn't actually say that they don't allow cats. I found out trying to find a company that not all allow cats, and they all have different pet fees or pet deposits. So you have to make sure, is it something you're going to get back later? And if so, what is it? How much is it? How do they deduct it? Do they want it all up front? A lot of companies, I think CFI and Swift, are $500. I don't think either one of them takes cats. Prime, which I drive for, they do allow cats and dogs up to 30 pounds. It's $1,000 deposit, but they break it up into payments. So you pay $300 your first check that the animal comes on the road, and then $50 a week after that. That is for company drivers. If you go lease, which I don't recommend, especially not for new people, please don't do it, because I don't want you crying later. I don't think they have a lease. The lease people, I don't think they have a deposit at all. So that's something that you have to consider. The third thing, very important, animals take up a lot of space in a very small closet area. Okay, we really don't have that much room, and bringing 1 animal, 2 animals, you're gonna use space. Now a dog might not take up as much space because what do you need? You need his food and his bowls. With the cat, I need his litter box and the litter, because I always keep 40 to 60 pounds of litter on the truck. Feline Fresh and Feline Pine. I'm going to put the pictures up here, okay, so you can see them. The two of them are the best litter you could ever find for living on a truck. They basically are pine sticks that are broken apart. They look like chopsticks that are broken, and the urine then saturates them and it turns into sawdust, and then you just dump it out. It's like no mess, no fuss. It smells great when he kicks around in it, and there's no dust. Like all the other ones, the Fresh Step and Scoop Away and all them get all the gray dust all over the place, so you don't want that. But those are things you have to think about. We really don't have that much space. I have 3 cabinets and the refrigerator. The cat has 2 cabinets, and it's not always easy to get to stores out on the road. Most of us go to Walmart, but not all Walmarts have the same product across the country. So if your animal eats a particular food and you can't find it, then what? Like, not all Walmarts sell that Feline Fresh, and even a couple of the pet stores have, you know, they might have 1 or 2 bags, and I buy them, and then I buy their cheap generic brand, and that's not as good, but it's still better than the Scoop Away. So those are some things you need to think about. Something else, hotels. Not all hotels that are pet friendly will accept cats. So if your truck breaks down, you need someplace to stay because it's going in the shop. So not only do you have to worry about, is the hotel going to allow you to bring your pet, but you also have to worry about how are you getting to the hotel, because not all Uber drivers are going to let you bring a pet. Now, he's usually not a problem. I keep him in the bag. I ask them in the little instruction thing, is a cat a problem? 90% have said no problem, but people do have allergies. I don't even know what people with dogs do. Really, if you have a dog, please comment down below and tell us, what do you do when you need to go to the hotel and you need to get an Uber and you have the dog? Because really, like a lot of companies, I know CFI, I know Prime, we all have shuttles that will take you from the terminal to hotels and stuff, but number one, you're carrying them with other people. I mean, Prime shuttles are always full. There's 10, 15 people squeezed into this truck, into this little shuttle. And the other thing is that you're carrying all this stuff. So you have to track it across the terminal, then track it back, and be in people's way getting in and off the truck, off the shuttle. So it's not something that's easy to do. I really don't know what. An Uber driver did tell me that if you tell them that it's a service animal, they can't tell you can't bring it on the truck, but then you're basically lying unless you go online and make your animal a service animal. And I know people that have told me that they've done that, but that's kind of skirting rules and stuff. So that's important though. Another thing is, especially if you have a sick or an older pet, you might want to make it a point that when you see vet clinics throughout the country near truck stops, or you can see them from the highway, that they might have an open space where you could at least park. You might want to note that in your Google Maps, because even he did get this. He got fleas. My cat, who never leaves the truck, got fleas. And I mean, at that point, he hadn't even been off the truck for a year because he doesn't like hotels. So, even if I get off the truck and I go to the hotel for a while, then, and the only other place he's been is my mother's. She don't have fleas. So, at least I hope she doesn't have fleas. She'd kill me because they would come from him. But what people don't think about is, we as truck drivers pick up the fleas from the people walking their dogs around the truck stops and the rest areas. We also, as reefer drivers, we pick up fleas from the slaughterhouses. So because of that, you have to be mindful. If you see a flea or any kind of animal, you got to make sure that you take care of that right away. I keep Revolution, a year's worth of Revolution on the truck. In case you don't know what that is, it's the little topical lotions that the topical drops that they put for monthly and it takes care of fleas and ticks and mites and heartworms. Heartworms is a big one because even if, say, you know, it's the middle of winter and it's got 2 feet of snow in Michigan, you might get a load down to Florida, and Florida and Alabama are going to have mosquitoes in the middle of winter. I swear they do. I have bug bite scars up and down my legs. So, you know, your pet is still vulnerable even in the winter time if you're an over-the-road driver traveling to all these places. So those are just a few things for you to keep in mind in case you're planning on bringing Fluffy or Fido along with you. And do me a favor, comment below. Tell me what your dog's name is, what your cat's name is, or even if you have a snake, I don't care. Tell me what your animal's name is and what kind of animal it is. And I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.